We're going to go to the segment that we've been having a lot of fun with Meet the McCains. And I've been starting this off about talking about Miss Brenda and some of the things that she's done. And we last finished out with Brenda having a background check on me. And it was amazing how many people, how many people put there that they would take a background check on their spouse. I mean, we got so many people writing on that, and I thought it was just crazy.
They smart.
And it was mostly women, background check. There you go. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But when we left off, I told them, Brenda did something that I did something, that Brenda did something that almost made me leave her. I did something that almost made Brenda leave me. and so the story goes on as this, and I'll let her jump in anytime she wants to. Do your hot scotch when you're ready.
I'm ready.
We were going to look for a house, and we saw this, going around in a lot of different places. Back then in South Holland, they were trying to run black people away from there, but we persist. Yep, I'm telling the truth. That was the truth. They didn't want you to go over there, but we persist to move there. I don't want y'all trying to find out where I live in South Holland because you don't need to know. But so we go there and we look at this house. And, I was in real estate before. I worked for a real estate company, Fannie Mae Mortgage. And I knew about a lot of things about houses. And so I saw this house that was, the price was falling down dramatically. And so it fell down about $4,000. And we looked at the house. And when we saw it, it didn't look that great. So we went past it.
I don't want nobody thinking that.
What?
The house was very neat, manicured, clean, just a modest home. I mean, it was a very nice, clean house, but it wasn't something that we eyeballed.
Well, she looking like, I don't want you saying nothing negative about my house. Actually, we saw the house, and it was like, okay, that was okay, but we wasn't really interested in it at first. And so we were going past the house, and then, the next week we went to go see this one house. We didn't like it. We went into this other house. It almost like it was possessed when we were in there. Like, okay, we're not taking this house. But then the next week, we saw the house again, and I saw the listings. And this house fell from $4,000 to additional $7,000. And I'm like, oh, my God. I said, Brenda, we need to really look at this house because one or two things are happening. There's something dramatically wrong with this house, and we'll be able to see it. Or we court somebody that has to sell, and we can probably get a great bargain. So, she said, okay, let's fine. We'll look at the house. And we had our agent to help us look for the house. Now, this is the part where Brenda almost wanted to leave me because we got to the house, opened the door. I walked into the door and I said to her, this is the house.
And I said to him.
I ain't finished.
Okay.
Jesus. This is the house, because this is the question we're going to be asking. This is the house that God said he's going to give us. And then what did you say to that?
God didn't speak to me. Just not the house. We didn't even see the house. And I didn't even get 1 foot in the door of the house.
She didn't. I opened the door. And I stepped into the door. And as I stepped in, God said to me, this is the house that I'm going to give you. And I told Brenda that. I said, this is the house that God said he's going to give us. And she immediately freaked out. So now she's looking for everything she could find wrong for the house. To say, it ain't got this, it ain't got that, it ain't got this. So tell your little story.
When I finally put a foot in the door, my mindset was like, I know he did not pull rank and say, we're about to start our life together in this house. First thing I noticed, green carpet. Nobody do no green shed carpet, dark kitchen. I found everything wrong. But the one thing that got me, I said, it doesn't have a dining room. I grew up in a Chicago bungalow with a big living room and a nice-sized dining room and a big kitchen. This don't have that. And he said, Brenda, just baby, give it a chance. And he said,
no, that ain't what I said.
What you say?
I said, this is the house.
You did say give it a chance. And then you said that.
No, I don't remember saying give it a chance.
Yes, you did.
I remember saying
give it a chance.
This is the house that God is going to give us.
And I remember walking behind you, rolling my eyes, throwing daggers
I could feel it.
you. And then the wife of the house, or the lady of the house, she said, please take care of my house. I'm looking at her like, okay, wait a minute. Something must really be going on because she's crying while they're showing us the house.
Well,
and
that's because she didn't want to leave. That's all.
No, she didn't, but I didn't want to come there. I'm like,
and it's so amazing. And so what happens after that was, So we, she's arguing with me, trying to find everything wrong with the house.
Green shed carpet, black walls. Ooh.
And so to me, as a man of God that I am, holiness coming down, man of God, I sat there and told her, this is the house, again, that God is going to give us.
Pulling rank.
So now our agent, I just pulled God. So our agent sits there and says, maybe you all should look at some more house. And Brenda was saying what?
Yeah, maybe we should.
Yeah, well, listen to her. Listen to agent. But what I reiterated, and here comes our question to y'all in a second. What I reiterated was, no, I'm not looking at any more houses because God said this is the house that he was going to give us. And the agent looked like, okay. I said, this is the house that we're going to get. And so now my question to all of you all out there, that you're going to have on Facebook and Tracy's going to put out there, would you question your spouse if the answer they gave you was God told them that this is the place, or God told them that this is where we're supposed to be, or God said, would you question your spouse? Would you question that person if they use God as the reason why they were making the decision?
Now, in your case, I can say this because you are a man of God. I was not on your level when we first got married in my spiritual walk.
Still ain't.
You know what, man? Don't play. Because God don't like when you play with his daughter over
That's
here.
all
Don't
right.
play.
Yeah.
Now, is this my side now?
Okay, go ahead.
So anyway, at that time, I wasn't on that level of hearing a man say that to me. It's like, you trying to pull rankings and all that? Yeah, in your head, it's a man's world. But why don't you tell them also? You said, baby, and you did say this, Ricardo.
Don't remember.
I know you, and
I
you selectively
categorically
not
deny.
remember. When we get in this house, you can do whatever you want to do to fix it up. Because I found everything
I remember
wrong
saying that.
with that house.
Yeah.
And I can't. Do you want this to be for next week?
I don't want you to spoil the whole thing because you like jumping ahead.
I do.
Sometimes like, she like want to tell the whole story and it's supposed to be a part
and
of
you
it.
know what? To be honest, on my part, it wasn't nothing wrong with the house. I just didn't like a man telling me what to do.
This is a man.
And I always just hated that. It's like, okay, this marriage, and that was my first thing. This marriage ain't gonna work because I know he a man of God, but he be too controlling and this and that. And I'm like, you know what, Rick, you do you.
Okay.
But oh well.
And so, we got Tracy in here, and one of our person that you will always hear on our show. We're glad to have her back, Leslie Holly. It's a little bit early here, and so we're going to let Leslie also talk a little bit. She's going to be our 7 o'clock guest. So Leslie, let me ask you now. I know y'all going to try to jump on a man and beat the man down or something like that. But let me ask you this. No, go ahead. Let me ask you this. What is your thought about that?
That's very interesting. I think when looking at the word and the part in the word that talks about, following your husband, and that makes a lot of people nervous, right? But I think in the society that we live, there's a lot of men that use that for power or to their advantage.
Of course.
Now, so if I'm married to a man that I know has a relationship with God and doesn't pull this, all the time. Well, God said, and God said you need to clean the house, and God said, and if my husband has my best interest at heart, and he is a man of God, as he should be, and he should have my best interest at heart, then yes, I would definitely follow what he's saying, because God is speaking to him. It doesn't necessarily mean he's going to speak to me about that. But yeah, there are a lot of people that use that to control, for power. But I think the point that we have to focus on is best interest at heart. Your husband should have your best interest at heart.
And this is coming true from her, because Leslie don't agree with me all the time. She's been on the show many times before, and I don't agree with that, Reverend. So I'm glad. But so Tracy, grab your mic. So I mean, what would you think about that? If you saw somebody, a man just said, God said.
Like Brenda, I was not there, so I probably would not believe it either. I'd be like, well, you know what, me, you, and God gonna have a conversation because Tracy gotta live here too.
Right.
So I don't know if I would have bought it because, it took me a long time, Rick, to believe when you kept telling me God is telling us what we gonna do.
Yeah.
So I don't think back then I would have bought it either, Brand.
Right.
And so, here's the thing that I'm going to throw. I'm going to throw a twist on it. How does it feel to the individual that believes in God, the person that is with them doesn't believe in them, in the godness in them? They don't believe that they have that kind of relationship with God, that God would speak to them and give them revelation knowledge about what he's about to provide.
But I'm going to throw a double twist on that. I did and still do believe in you. You're the strongest Christian that I know besides my mom. And like I said, it wasn't nothing on you. It was just the fact this was new for me. I was a new bride and everything. And I wanted to say so in my first pick in my first home. And you shut it down. And so most people say, well, you rebelled against them like I'm a child. But when it is come to, I know your persona, I know your personality, you are a strong man of God, you don't play with God, and you don't toss that terminology around like Leslie was saying. It's like when you say it, boom. It's just like when I say it, God spoke to me to write a book, it caught your attention because we don't say that like them.
Yeah.
But in my Christian journey and my walk, back in 91 and 92 to 94, it's not the Brenda that you see now.
Yeah,
it was more of, come on now, baby, I'm lifting you. Go stop
but
wooing me.
But I'm like, we just been honest. I appreciate
I
you doing
know I was
that.
rough,
but she was rough.
I was rough
she,
and wrong.
She didn't want to talk to me. I'm like, she almost seemed like I didn't want to marry a preacher anyway.
I
now
didn't.
he's calling rank.
Right,
This
I did.
relationship
I did not want to
is
marry a
over.
minister.
How did that song go? It's over now?
Hey,
She was ready to fight me. So we want you all to get on Facebook and give that, analogy. Let me know. Tracy's going to put it out there. We want to be able to know if your spouse gives you the answer that the reason why they're doing something is because God told them so. Would you automatically follow them or would you question them? You know the answer for Reverend Rick McCain. His wife questioned him. But we're going to talk about what happened after that showed which one of us was really right. Was Reverend McCain right about God talking to him, or was Brenda right for questioning him? You'll hear that next week.
Yes. Okay, then.
Hey, so that's Meet the McCains. Hope you're listening. We want you to contact us on Facebook to let us know what you think about that question. But now we're going to go into our next segment, Heart to Heart.